how the mob translates while or the hero translates while dashing. I mean, we kind of need to know about that translate for the next set of mobs. So how about where were we? Somewhere around here, here-ish, here, no, here, no. That's targeting. This, yeah. So this offset that we're calculating. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, let's refactor this to hero translate or hero translate hero translate, and let's make it a thing. Dash. So vector 3 hero translate equals almost turnstile, but not quite. Okay, equals it doesn't have to equal anything. So now we know what the hero translate is after calculating it here. And then if dashing, so that now when we're translating our mobs, and they're exempt, and the hero's dashing, yeah, I was going to use p exempt to mean exemption from all the physics simulation, but I guess like if a mob's exempt from the physics simulation because it's just like flying off in some random direction and is not necessarily caught up in the dash, then we don't need to. We won't want to translate it with as if it were caught up in the dash because that'd be weird. So yeah, I was going to say we could clean out some of the slightly gawky stuff that we've done with knockback, but we're going to keep the slightly gawky stuff that we've done with knockback, and we're just going to say this could be dashing. I guess. Yeah. This could be dashing. Because it could just indicate that the mobs are also quote-unquote dashing. So, sure. P exempt is actually dashing. Dun dun dun! And I'll put it down with the other dash stuff. Alright, so now in the cases that we were already using dashing, we have to say dashing 0 0 or dashing. I mean, we could say dashing I because we already know that. Whatever, just dashing 0 because I equals 0. And where else? Dashing 0. And then where else? Dashing 0. Dashing 0. Dashing 0. Oh, actually, yeah. And actually, this is going to be slightly different because this is actually going to be dashing ID or DI because we're going to do for int DI equals 0. No, we're not. I lied. This is going to be 0. Dashing 0. Again, I could do dashing I, but whatever. Dashing 0. Dashing 0. So, alright. So now, the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to say what? We're going to say what? Well, just before I forget, let's say if not dashing 0, dashing I equals false. So if the hero is done dashing, then all the mobs are done dashing. No, that's worse than the other thing I was going to do. That is worse. Yeah, I was going to say, I was just going to do it here. So, yep, alright, so for int di, I mean, I'm iterating over all mobs, so it seems weird to iterate over all mobs while iterating over all mobs, but I'm doing that iteration. The greater iteration I'm doing on fixed update, so I don't want to introduce unnecessary cruft into fixed update perpetually. This is just like the single frame wherein we're done dashing, which will happen fairly rarely. I mean, relatively speaking. So int di equals 0, 0, di less than max mobs, di plus plus. And then di equals false. So yeah, when we're done dashing, everyone's done dashing. And actually, I'm tempted to say when we're done dashing, like all the mobs should move downwards to the ground, so that way when things explode, like, well, no, I guess I can just set up the explosion differently. I could even, nah, yeah, I can just set up this explosion differently. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's all good. And then, what else are we going to do is, so the place with the funny knockback thingies, nope, too far. So the place with the funny, knockback, etc., etc., etc. Oh wait, no, that's different. Oh yeah, no, I guess that's not as bad. as it was, as I thought it was. That's probably fine. Yeah, because actually, yeah, mobs getting knocked around. Uh, right. The Oh, I know. Well, this is kind of funny, but I was gonna, yeah, the mobs that are dashing, I was gonna exempt them from the physics system, but I think it might actually be more performant to just like let them run through the physics simulation, and then, oh no, I don't want them getting targeted. So that's one thing that I should do. So, yeah. Oh, but that involves the scanning system, which I guess I could do with not too much difficulty, but, yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'll try it. So what am I? No, tail. So in scan range, and scan cell, in the case that we're not dashing. Wait, what? Right. Whatever, I don't care. This is slightly funny. In that, like, both of these pertain to the dashing system, but not in the same way. So, in the case that we're not dashing, we also have to meet the condition that dashing tail, that not dashing tail. Alright. So we can't target things that are dashing while they're dashing, which I guess is fine. I'm probably not going to make a huge difference either way. What was the other thing that we wanted? Oh, right, and so then, yeah. So they all run through the physics simulation, I guess. Actually, I'm going to check if there's a clean place to add this to the physics simulation. So, yeah. Yeah. No, wait, no, not that. Wait, this? No. Where's the proximal? We could just not put them on the map while they're dashing. Because if we don't put them on the map, then if we like hide them from the map, then they're invisible to a lot of things. So, yeah, I guess. Nah. Yeah, field. So setting up the field, I guess. So yeah, if mobs I not equal null and not dashing I. Maybe? This is probably going to break something. Oh, this isn't going to put the hero on the field. I don't know. Let's just see what this does. It was easy enough to input. We can delete it just as easily. Whoop, not what I meant to do. Dash. Alright, so it hasn't ruined everything yet. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, and maybe we should just not put with mobs. Maybe we should just not, if mobs have knockback, not put them on the field either. Although that, if we don't put them on the field, then they won't blow up. Which is good for dashing because you want the mobs to get caught in the final explosion. You don't want them to get caught in like, you don't want them to get blown out of the dash by an other explosion. I guess. I don't know. maybe if you dash through an explosion, you do still want them to get impacted. Maybe you do still want them to get hit, you just don't want them to get knocked back. In case that's different someday. Alright, so no, we will put them on the map. And that's fine. Is there another convenient place I could plug this in to not have to worry as much about the physics system? I don't know why I'm so worried about the physics system. I'm just trying to pre-optimize, and I don't even know what my performance requirements are yet, so I'm being silly probably. Yeah, super silly. Yeah, I'm just going to do the thing that I was saying. It was kind of amusing to me. So this is usually where we apply the offsets to a mob, but if mob's equal, if mob's not equal null, then we would typically apply that. However, let's say if dashing I, then something else. Why did you do that? Why did we looking at this? No one cares about that. No one gave any indication that they might care about that. Else this. And the alternative is that mobs I transform position plus equals what did I call it? Hero translate. Yeah. So I guess I don't have to update offset 0 to equal hero translate anymore, because that offset 0 in that case doesn't mean anything. But okay, still haven't ruined everything. Alright. So for starters, let's just take a snapshot when the hero starts dashing, a snapshot of the mobs in the vicinity, and tag those mobs as also dashing. So for now, the dash power will just well, it won't pick up mobs along the way. It'll only pick up mobs at the start. So SRM int SRM no int SRM equals scan range multi 0 how many? All of them. Says no maximum. The range. Let's say everything within 3 units, 4 units. So then for int I equals 0, I less than srm dot length I plus plus. Actually, I guess it's just one liner. Dashing I equals true. Save. Alright, so now when the hero dashes, hypothetically, he should bring his friends in a little circle around him. What? Well, that's delightful. Why isn't the hero dashing anymore? Whoa. This is cray. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it's kind of cray. The hero used to dash just fine. I mean, I should stop and start the simulation again. Alright, so the hero... Oh! Wait. Did the hero stop dashing? No, the hero still dashes. So, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So for some reason those mobs never stop dashing. That's the only real difference, really. Those mobs never stopped dashing. They just dashed and dashed. Dashed and dashed. But why aren't new mobs? Alright, this is weird. Because the hero clearly stops dashing. Are those mobs still exempt from physics simulation? No. Wait, I don't get what's happening there. So, is it because I didn't put braces around my for loop? I don't know. That's the coolest one. Jax? I mean, it's... Oh. No, wait. Wait a second. Oh, no. No. Alright, yeah, how am I calculating here? Translate. Oh, yeah. So... I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but if dashing and I not equals 0, because I had the dashing system working fine for the... Wait, it's like... Oof. I have no clue. Bombs! Bombs everywhere! Yeah, I guess it's as though they're not getting unset from dashing. Oh wait, 4 is a pretty broad range. So I mean, we're clearly seeing something weird in terms of like what's getting returned, but maybe some of this is normal. So, okay, what if instead of a range of 4, it was only like a range of much less than 4, so like 2. So now it should only drag like a few mobs, like the only ones really tightly packed. No, that doesn't help. I mean, it's weird that... Oh yeah, and the allies shouldn't translate at all. I don't know why they're getting cut along for that. Or they're... There should be no way... Does, No. Yeah, it's like... There's something very wrong with how I'm clearing Clearing away the dashing. So, alright, I'm going to do it a different way instead. I'm just going to do it here. So, if dashing, if not dashing 0, dashing I equals false. Facile, false. Alright. Let's see if, just sanity check, like, nope. Bombs seem to work fine though. How are bombs able to... How are bombs working? Wait, what? Oh, this is gonna be that weird one again. Yeah, 0 is in range, trust me. Trust me, bro. 0, totally in range. Alright. Scan range multi 0. So I don't know. This one's a bit of a head scratcher. We can see that clearly some mobs are getting caught up in the dash, but it seems like a really strange set of mobs that are getting caught up. I'm just gonna try something. Just gonna check something. Print dashing 1. Save. False, yeah. So dashing starts at false. I don't have to worry about that. Excuse me. So, did I accidentally set up my scan range multi incorrectly? Because, like, I just feel like, how, alright. Alright, I'm gonna do something different. Just to see if, like, the mobs getting caught up is working okay. I'm going to, instead of say SRM, etc., etc., I'm just going to say whenever we dash, the allies are going to dash with us. So if mobs type I equals 1, type of allies, then dashing I equals true. Alright, so allies, you're coming with what? Oh, equals. Equals, all the equals. So many equals. Alright. Wait, what variable? Allies. Alright. So now the allies dash along for the ride. Huh. Do they dash actually further than me? Seems like they're dashing like further and faster. Is that just my imagination? I don't know. Alright, so I feel like that scan range multi is just returning really weird results for some reason. And I don't know why. This one still works, right? Actually, I guess if this scan range multi was returning weird results like that, I might just not notice because they're all getting like thrown into the air. So if like some were getting missed, I might just never notice. I don't know why it wouldn't be working. That one guy. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it has to be the scan range multi because like everything else is working fine. So, did I just set it up something weird? I is less than srm.length, I plus plus x 0. This isn't inside another for loop, is it? No, I don't think so. Oh, okay. I'm a smart, not dashing I, dashing srmi. Woo! Yay! I'm super know how to use my own tools. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Right. Yep. That was cool. Bam. Look at us dash. Look at this group of mobs dash along with me. Yay! Yay! I can dash and bring my friends with me. You coming with me wherever we go. Oh man, and then bombs! Ah, bombs everywhere, and then dashing, and then dashing. Oh look, they're stuck in the air. And then dashing, and then bombs, and then dashing. Alright, so I guess I shouldn't stick them in the air. Or maybe that's fine. Ah, it's just so much fun to dash. It's so much fun. It's too much fun. Alright, I clearly amuse myself. Alright, but this is actually not far off from what we want. I think we want the radius to be a little narrower. And I guess maybe it can scale with the range of the power or of the ability. I mean, I guess it is a little bit noticeable how jagged the shape is when they start translating with you. You can kind of see that it's not like completely round. So I mean, I could buffer that and just do a little bit of overkill, which is actually not a bad idea. You can never escape. Always dashing. Always dashing. Alright. Right, so what was I doing? I guess dashing is a little bit like my idea for the third power. The third power is going to be a whirlwind, so it's basically like going to be a dash, except you got to control with your cursor where the whirlwind went, and the whirlwind similarly we're going to suck up mobs and then spit them out at the end. But I mean that's kind of what dash does, so maybe I'll keep concepting the third ability and just make dash kind of like that. I do kind of like the idea of tracing the cursor though. Yeah, but I won't worry about that now, because look, dash is working. Yay, dash. Alright, I'm going to do a quick thing with scan range multi where, should I? Yes, I am. It's going to be good. It's going to be good and smart. Smart and good. Oh. No, wait, I remember. I remember why scan range multi is a little bit jagged. Is that fine? Maybe it's fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna tone it down a little bit, and it might seem slightly arbitrary which mobs get caught up, but I think this power is actually gonna be really powerful. So I don't think people are gonna like get super concerned about it. So the range is what? It's currently 5. So let's say that let's say, oh yeah, let's because now that I know why I'm a silly person, let's get rid of that thing that I didn't want to do. Do I know who is awesome? I could take a guess. I don't know if I do though. Um, uh, oh yeah. So the thing that I didn't want to do. Um, Trisex is pretty awesome. Yeah, I would agree with that. Trisex is pretty awesome. It's a little surreal how awesome Trisex is, to be honest. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but I think you're pretty cool. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Um, um, yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the list of viewers, so I'm not really aware of when people drop in, except for when they start participating in chat. Have you been here a while, or did you just get here? If you'd like, I could give you like I could show you the project that we're working on now. You might have caught a little bit of like the testing I was doing with like some of the recently implemented powers, or possibly not. So yeah, let me know if you would care for a tour of the project. I'd be happy to give one. I was really enjoying just like hitting play and just like hitting the buttons, because I don't know, when I finally got the power that I'm working on like an ability system, and when I finally got it to work, it was, I don't know, it was fun. It's kind of cool to see it running. So actually, I do have to check to make sure it's still working, because I just undid something that I had done earlier. Hopefully this will still work. I hope to see that dudes get carried along and then they stop getting carried along. So yeah, let's make sure that they have in fact stopped getting carried along. Oh, and I guess I didn't really run this test before. Yeah, okay, that seems good. Yeah, they're getting carried along, and then they stop getting carried along. Alright, cool. Good. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, I'll just give a quick overview, because I'm actually, the thing I'm working on, I'm going to spend a lot of time in play mode, so you get to see a lot of the project either way. But so this is like I'm really bad at describing this project. I think that the best description I've come up with so far is that it's kind of like a single player MOBA, and it's kind of like Dynasty Warriors, I guess. I've actually never played Dynasty Warriors. I assume it's like Dynasty Warriors, from what I've seen of Dynasty Warriors. But like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a single player MOBA in that like you have this tall yellow dude who's like the hero. Yeah, if you hear me referring to hero, it's the tall yellow dude. Allies are the small dudes. Green mobs are the little spheres that are all over the place. So like ultimately the game is kind of gonna be like yellow team versus the green team kind of. So like, oh, I deactivated like actually here I'll put everything back into place for a second. Just because I don't know, I enjoy watching it. Yeah, I deactivated knockback while I was testing out some of the powers, but okay. So yeah, it's basically Team Green versus Team Yellow, and you're like the leader of Team Yellow. So this is just like this. Hey, all right. You like the sound of that? All right. That'll be my elevator pitch. Single player MOBA in the style of Dynasty Warriors. So yeah, kind of like in a MOBA, you have like your hero has like powers, not just like yeah. So like in a MOBA, like if you set your hero to go, he'll just kind of do his own thing, kind of drift about, and like they have like kind of like standing orders as to what to do. You can also tell your dude where to go by clicking wherever you want on the map, and whenever you don't give him a direct order, he'll just kind of like go back to doing his own thing. Also, like in a MOBA, so these white dots, they're going to be part of the UI system, which I haven't hooked up yet. I do, however, have I have one of the powers like actually working, and then I have one of the other powers, the one that I'm working on presently. That one is still currently in progress. So like the first power is like bombs basically. So you can hit this button here. It's a little hard to see because of like everything else that's going on right now. But basically every time you hit this button, there's like an explosion in the area. And as you play through the game, you can get more and more powerful explosions. So like you can modify your powers. So like if you increase the strength of your bomb power to like, so is that 1? If you increase it to 3, like then when you hit it, like they really go flying. And then one of the other modifiers you can get for your power ups is I'm gonna put the power down a little more, but then I'm gonna put I'm gonna multiply it. So instead of just 1 bomb, now every time I click the button, 3 bombs go off. So it's a little hard to tell when the mobs are all spread out like that, but yeah, we've done a pretty good job of spreading out the mobs. So then, yeah, so those are bombs. The power that I'm working on currently is dashing. So whenever I click this button, like the hero kind of like dashes to a location, and as he doesn't dash very fast. I might need to tune that up just to make it look cooler. He doesn't dash very fast, but when he dashes, he kind of like drags a bunch of mobs along with him. That was what we just implemented. The next thing that I'm planning on implementing with the dashing is that, well, not only will he bring the mobs that he's standing next to when he starts dashing, he'll also pick up any mobs that he... Thank you! I'm glad you like it. So when the hero dashes, he'll not just like he'll basically drag all the mobs that in his path, and then at the end of the dash, there's an explosion, and also you can multiply the dash power too. So if you multiply the dash power, the hero will continue to dash around. He'll keep if you can click it once, and if you've multiplied it like 3 times, he'll dash around like 4 times, and then by the end of that dash, he'll have like collected a lot of mobs, and so there'll be like a big explosion at the end. And so that's the project that as we have it so far, and I haven't figured out exactly how the project will be finished. I know once I get like the power systems up and running, I know there really should be like a clear objective other than just like press buttons and make things explode. These mobs get knocked around a bit, but like I haven't done anything with like a point system in terms of like, hypothetically, if you like how many explosions can a mob take before that mob is no more? So I have to figure out stuff like that too. I might actually start working on that stuff next because I don't know what the 3rd power will be. So might as well get started on something that is a clear objective. All right, so yeah, so we just got the we literally just got the mobs to track along with the hero while he dashes. Let's thank you. Speaking of games, I don't know if Trisox mentioned, I have a few projects online right now. If you click the srsly.bz banner, which is probably right below the stream, you can check out a few of them there. And then, when this project is done, it's going to go on the website as well. So I'll definitely let you know when that happens. And I mean, this is the project that I'll be working on. I'm trying to get a fairly regular streaming schedule, so um, probably like if you're in Trisox's time zone, it might be like kind of late at night that I'm streaming. But like for me here in Boston, it's like noon till 6 seems to be like the sweet spot for like when I'm free and able to work. So yeah, feel free to stop by if you feel like watching the thank you. If you feel like if you feel like seeing how the game is going, I don't know exactly how long it'll take me, but I'll probably be working on it at least all of this week and probably all of next week, to be honest. There are a lot of features that I want to put in, and I guess because of this is like kind of a pet project. It's not one of like I didn't just like come up with it like out of the blue. It's a project that I've actually wanted to make for 8 years now, and I'm like finally getting around to it. So yeah, I've been working with Unity for about half a year now. I have a background in C++ as well, so I hope some of I try and talk through like the particularly the rationale for what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So yeah, I hope that some of the dialogue can be insightful as to how like I go about setting up a project. I mean, there's like I think the thing that I like the most about game design is that you really can do whatever you want, which is to say, I think like one of the more important aspects of it is really pinning down what you want. Like when you interact with a product, like figuring out what it is that you find truly enjoyable, or that people would find truly enjoyable, and then trying to implement that. So hopefully the stuff that I talk about will give some insight into that process as I wrestle through it. So for example, I have in this project a manner to fairly efficiently scan in a fairly near distance, or at whatever distance I specify. I call it scan range multi, and it within a given distance it ascertains like what other mobs are nearby. I'm using that I'm using that for the dashing presently to choose like which mobs get like caught up in the dash and which mobs get carried along as well. Right now that only occurs when the dash starts. And so in order to pick up new mobs as the dash continues, I mean, it almost feels a little redundant to scan like the entire range repeatedly, because like really the only mobs that stand a chance of getting caught in the dash once it's begun are the mobs that are between the for any given instance wherein the scan is repeated, the only mobs would be in the only mobs that could get added to the dash would be the ones in the crescent at the very front of the dash, because that crescent is like the only like new area not included in the previous scan. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I don't know how long the delay is. I know there's like at least a several second delay, but yeah. Apparently, you picked up on what I was talking about, and then you probably then watched me prattle on for a little while longer. But yeah. All right. Thank you. So I'm trying to think of like I guess one option would just be to rerun the scan fairly infrequently, like only at several points throughout the dash, so that the likelihood of like redundant scans would be decreased. I guess I could also run a narrower scan. Like I can choose like a minimum and a maximum distance. So like if I only scanned the outer edge, then I would only, then I would only really be looking in that crescent. I mean, I'd be looking in like the full circle, but that would at least be a much quicker scan. I mean, maybe it wouldn't even be so bad to like rerun the scan, like as the dash continues, because as I mentioned, it is fairly efficient, relatively speaking. So of all of those, I think the one that I like the most. Actually, you know what? You know what I kind of like? I don't know if I'll like it once it's implemented, but the idea that I like, that just popped in my head, is having the range of the dash start narrow. So like when the dash no, I was gonna say it would be like kind of a cone shape, and it would like expand outward as you dash forwards. But no, I kind of like the idea of bringing the mobs a fairly broad cross section of the mobs in your area with you as you travel. So I'll just re-implement, or I'll just implement the scan to occur frequently, and then I can dial back from there, because I know if I just scan frequently in the full range, that will at least accomplish the deed. So, I did want to change the range of the scan, however. So, where's the power activation section? Here we are. Currently, I'm scanning range of 2 over range of 2. But I think instead I'm going to do the range of the power, which is pow range index pow, or I could just do index 1, but we're in the power activation block, so we know that the index is pow. Times, let's call this dash radius scale, which is not actually a thing. I have to make that a thing. Public float dash radius scale equals, so 2 I thought was slightly too high, 2 relative to 5, so less than 40%, so 30%, 0.3 F. I'm just going to see how that looks. Alright, yeah, that's about how many mobs I was hoping would get caught up in the dash. So, if I press it really fast, I can like catch tons of mobs. Sorry, that just amuses me, because then when I get to the end, I can go. Okay, sorry. Right, so what do we want to do, or where do we want to do this? I guess we want to say that so fixed update is where the action happens. If we go, I guess, yeah, I don't want to do it literally every update. That seems superfluous. So let's say so what if we had a float for dash grab time, and that can be 0 to begin with, and then float dash grab period, PD for period, and so so let's say we only grab I don't know, every the dash is fairly fast. Oh, and I did say the dash was going to get faster, so yeah, maybe I should just tune up the dash and then dial up the speed of the dash. Yeah, let's play with the before I try and do anything too convoluted or complicated, let's just play with the speed of the dash. Alright, so that felt a little bit sluggish. Maybe it's okay for this to feel a little bit sluggish because the speed of the hero actually starts out really sluggish, and the speed of the dash is set to scale with the speed of the hero. Maybe that's not something that needs to be the case. Maybe if I just separate the two, then I can find like one dash speed that feels good, and that might actually be a lot simpler in the long run. So before we play with the dash speed too much, where is this calculated? This is in, yeah, down here, I think. So dash, here translate, dash speed scale, here translate times equal dash speed. Oh, yeah. Alright, so, yeah, because I was kind of like sharing the same block of code with some of the other hero movement handling, instead of what's written here, let's say, well, alright. I should smooth over this this whole block once I'm done writing it, because I've already introduced like a few curiosities to it. But I think for this we can pretty clearly just say that hero, what? Yeah. So hero translate. We can get rid of speed 0 here, because we're going to say that hero translate is multiplied by dashing ? If we are dashing, it's multiplied by dash speed scale, and if not, then it's multiplied by speed 0, which is the speed at which our hero typically travels. Okay. Yeah, the hero can increase speed, and the way I had it set up, the speed of the dash would also increase as the speed of the hero increased. The thing that occurred to me is that regardless of how I set up the grabbing, like the scan to add more mobs to the the cluster of mobs that are dashing along with the hero, if the rate of the dash changes, then hypothetically the rate of the so there'll be either like fewer grabs, or the way that the grabbing in general is handled will sort of change as a byproduct of that speed changing. So I mean, I guess like maybe I would implement a system and it would just continue to work. I kind of want to go a little like I enjoy pushing the limits of like how powerful you can make like these power ups. Like I want like the bombs to be ridiculous, and just like I ideally I'd want like the capacity to just like literally like blanket the field with like bombs. Like if you choose to put all of your power up, so like there are powers that are abilities, and there are power ups that are modifiers to those abilities, and you can put all of your modifiers into the same power, and then that one power would just be like bananas. And like I don't know, I kind of want to push the extent to which you could do that. And so like then if I make the hero speed, so in order to keep the grab effective and also have the option to make the hero speed like absolutely out of control, like make it so that he's almost as fast as dashing at all times, like then I was thinking, so I guess it helps to know that was the motivation behind finding a fixed dash speed. The other reason it would be a little. So another reason that I kind of like separating the two is that speed. So in order to increase the hero's speed, you would add a speed modifier to the hero itself, not to any of the powers, because you can choose to put the modifiers directly onto the hero. And typically that doesn't make the powers more powerful. Typically that only makes the hero himself more powerful. Thank you. All right, so this, I'm not 100% that this is necessarily the right way to go, but I just, for the reasons that we talked about, I'd at least like to try it. So, that looks good. And then I think this, I just chopped out the part that said that this only occurs when not dashing, if I recall correctly. So I'll put that back in. Dash speed scale isn't really a scale anymore, so let's rename this to just dash speed. And save it. And of course now dash speed has to increase because it had been 4. What? Oh, dashing 0, right. Dashing 0. Forgot it in both places. Dashing 0. How'd we do? Alright, and of course, dash speed. Oh, it is still 4. Okay. But, so it would have effectively been 20, which is. Oh, wait, no. What's the hero speed? No, it effectively would have been 12. So let's try 20. That'll be a bit snappier. Alright, I mean, that could be good. I feel like if it was much faster than that, it would be, like, especially jarring. I mean, it is a little jarring, but it's also supposed to be... I mean, it's supposed to lend a sense of speed. And I'm thinking, like... I'm not going to go crazy with the art, but I'm thinking, like, some of the effects for dash will be, like, speed blur lines. I also kind of, like, when you swing the camera around, like, the camera swings around not, like, as fast as the hero. I think it'd be kind of cool to have the hero not constantly positioned, constantly centered relative to the camera during the dash. Like, give the impression that the camera wasn't even expecting the hero to dash, and so like it gets a little bit ahead of the camera. That's going to take a little bit of doing because of how currently tied the camera and the hero's translation systems currently are. But that's something that I'd like to revisit at some point when I get the time. But I don't know. I feel like this is better enough that I'm confident that this is okay for now. Sorry, I just really enjoyed doing that. Okay, but enough of that. Save that. We were implementing more scans. So, I mean, now that it's really snappy. Oh right, yeah. Now that it's snappy, it's not going to happen. Oh yeah, all right. There was one other possibility that I had considered, and that was to implement a new scan type that scans the capsule shape stretching between the hero's starting position and the end point of the dash, which we all know up front. And so then essentially we could if the hero dashes and like the camera, like if there was a slight elasticity there, I think it would really emphasize the sense of speed as well. So if I don't come back to that, remind me. That'll be pretty far down the line. That'll be like once we get to like the polished stages. But so I was thinking. I mean, I could just do the capsule scan. It's weird. It's very different than the scans that I have implemented currently. Underneath the map, like you don't see it. Everything looks all flat and everything, but there's actually a grid, and so there's like a grid system underneath the field, so like every mob has a coordinate, and whenever I'm checking like relative distances, first I just check the field, because that is simpler integer math that saves a little bit of processing. So yeah, it's all been circular. Everything that I've been doing with regards to like targeting or proximities, it's all been circular so far. So it would be quite an adaptation to go like capsule shaped. It also, if like a mob had gone flying through the dash, so like if you basically like if a mob was like traveling through the air and you dashed through it such to collide with it, that mob flying through the air would not necessarily, it would not necessarily get caught up in the dash, because it might have been outside of the capsule to begin with. So I guess I have talked through my options fairly well at this point. So yeah, I think before I went off on a tangent earlier, I was just going to implement something fairly simple and see how that went. So specifically, let's it's only in the case that we're processing, not processing dashing, that we actually even have to care about this. Specifically, well, no, let's not put it somewhere inconvenient. I guess it might as well go, I don't know. Oh yeah, so where does dashing become relevant for mobs? Did I pretty sure I exempted dashing mobs from like scan. Yeah. So like mobs can't get targeted if they're while they're dashing. So yeah, if I wanted to consider that, this should occur before the targeting system processes. And then I think I tried like having, exempting dashing mobs from some of the other simulation systems, just to, I don't know, save a few hertz here or there, but I don't really see the need to go overboard with it. So yeah, how about right around power processing, because that's where it all begins. And at that point the field is set up, so we can so if dashing index 0 int srm int array srm equals scan range multi I'll have to come back to that in just a second, but it occurred to me, did I set up a variable? Yeah, dash radius scale. Okay, so yeah, we're basically going to do this again. And it was near power activation down here. Whoops, parentheses. So centered around mob 0, which is the hero. Yeah, in this case, we just have to stipulate that it is in fact power 1. Centered around the hero. No maximum number of mobs. We want to get back all the mobs, all the possible mobs that could be in range. No minimum range. Although, if we're going to do the arc thing, we could try putting this is a value that we can toy with, because it might not need to be so low, as we were discussing earlier. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh well, that's not literally it, because as with the rest of what we were doing here, we then have to set the dashing values for those scanned mobs to be true. Which we're now doing. So yeah, hypothetically now, when we dash about, we should not just pick up the first clump of mobs, we should pick up all mobs in the area. So Yeah, that seems to be the case. Kind of plowing a stretch through the mobs now as we traverse. And like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem to have in fact impacted performance so severely. Um, One thing we can do to check that is go to a more severe case. The reason we only have 300 mobs and the reason the project will only have 300 mobs overall, uh, when I tested on mobile, that's approximately how many I'm pretty sure it was rendering. I'm pretty sure it was just like sheer rendering power in this engine on that platform. That's like about how much um, it could handle. And like that was on a not a super old device, so um, that's actually kind of like a high maximum. Like if I wanted to support like a lot of devices, I'd actually want to tune it down even further. I don't. I guess I can respond to that later if necessary. All right, so yeah, let's see how. Yeah, I mean like we're running a lot of. Oh, okay. So yeah, there's definitely a bit of chop on the upper end, but there always is a little bit of chop on the upper end. Once you get to around 1,000 or so mobs, which we might be. I can't tell if they're still spawning or not. Here, let's give them some bombs to help them spread out. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't. I'd be reticent to drop much lower than 300 because I want it to feel like really frenetic, like or not frenetic per se, but like I want it to feel like when you launch a bomb, I want to see that like that ripple of little green spheres like bouncing up into the air. And yeah, you really only get that when you have like a swarm like this. So yeah, when we were dashing around, I mean, even with 1,000 mobs, like there's definitely a reduction in frame rate, but because of how fast everything's moving, like it's not like okay, no, yeah, it gets pretty. Whoa, look at that, yeah. All right, that'll wreck it. Okay, so so I guess like the first thing I'm thinking I could try like it never ran super great with 1,000 mobs, and there have been a few things that have changed since the last time I did real testing with 1,000 mobs. So there are actually a few things that we could like if necessary. There are a few things we can do to optimize that out. But for starters, let's see if there's a marked difference just by pulling out the length a little bit. So what if we didn't bother with the whole thing? What if we just did the outer ring? So like, what if the minimum value was half of or even more than half? Like, let's multiply it by like 0.6, I guess. And now, I feel like pushing it. Let's go with 0.7. No. Let's make this a tunable value. So dash radius grab min or dash grab min radius or rad radius. So that way we can toy with it and see what works. I also want to toy with the or I want to crank up the range of the dash so it becomes really apparent. Oh gosh, I've been talking too much and I'm not going to remember what my variable was called. Public float dash grab min radius, I think is what it was called, equals 0.8f maybe. Yeah, I want to crank up the range of the dash so in the perfect scenario it will carve a very clear swath across the field, and hopefully that will make clear whether we are I was just thinking of another thing I could do for optimization. We could, with some of the physics simulation, we could exempt them out from. But if we crank up the dash grab min right thing, yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's see how that works now. And yeah, and specifically, let's try different values to see which ones work best. So, uh, uh, let's crank up the range of the power. So previously we were dashing a distance of 5 units, 5 arbitrary units, and now we're dashing a distance of 10 units. And, like, I'm not seeing any mobs getting left behind, really, so that could be good. But then also let's crank down the radius scale, because that we're basically starting with all of the mobs in tow, so it'd be hard to tell if we were missing any. Alright, well now we have a few more mobs to work with, so let's put the scale back up a little bit. 1.5, I guess. Alright, and yeah, now we have a lot of mobs, so it's and also, like, the mobs are alright here. We need bombs to spread them out a little bit better. Because when the mobs get clumped, it's hard to tell if it's cutting a clear swath. I mean, it looked like it was, actually. But it's kind of hard because, like, because of the physics, they try and, like, fan out a little bit. Maybe I should just stop spawning allies for this, because this would be a lot easier to evaluate with no allies. So, ally spawn period is 200. Not gonna happen, not anytime soon. Alright, so, but of course we spawn one to start. Whatever, that one's fine, I guess. Alright, so, yeah, dash range to 10, dash radius to 1.5, or 0.2, I guess, should be fine. So, yeah, that seems pretty good, actually. On one of them, it looked like we might have left a dude behind. But it's also a little hard to tell because we're dashing across where they spawn from, so sometimes it looks like we're leaving dudes behind, but it might just be that that dude appeared behind us. Also, it's a little weird, I guess, that they freeze in midair when when you're dashing, but hungry hungry heroes. Alright, I'd say this, I mean, again, performance isn't magical, but I feel like we're also not leaving anything behind, so alright, let's get, and performance wasn't actually even as bad as it had been previously, so alright, let's spread out a little bit better again. Oh no, alright, I'm ruining everything again. Yeah, right? That was a clean sweep that we were getting. So now just for one last test, now that we know that, like, we're at least doing okay, let's get really ambitious and, like, make it just the thinnest outer slice. So, like, literally 0.9 of the radius. Let's put the dash radius scale to 2 again, because that looked pretty good. And then also the range up to 10. And let's sweep. Actually, I guess I shouldn't do that test immediately because it could hide an error if we're sweeping too aggressively. Kind of want to cut out the targeting system just so that the mobs would not kind of want cut out the targeting system so the mobs aren't as clumpy while I'm running this test, but I guess the mobs will be pretty clumpy in the final. Okay, it looks like we might actually be dropping a few now that we pushed it as far as we did. Maybe, I don't know. That might just. I mean, I think mobs are still spawning, so it might have just been that. So, all right. Let's see. And oh yeah, and mobs are still getting kicked around and everything, so that could be part of it. All right. You know what? I think if we haven't pinned down the exact value, we're at least close enough that I'm confident in moving on and saying this is at least, usable for now. And that was at dash grab min radius 9, so 0.9. So Whoops, wrong button. Save. The fun part, when the dash concludes, explosions. Oh, is this? Yeah, yeah. Um, I might want to go back to 0.8. I'm gonna put it at 0.9 for now. I'll put it at 0.85 for now and see if I ever notice it happening later on when we're testing it or other features. I mean, this is also supposed to be a bit like it's supposed to be a bit sudden and a bit jarring. So hypothetically, if like the only downside is that like occasionally one got dropped out of the back, that might even be survivable. I would like it to be, I don't know, I would like it to just straight up work though. So if we can get that to happen, that would be good. So yeah, mobs with knockback get processed slightly differently than mobs without knockback. But I mean, I guess we're adding knockback to mobs in the POW system, in the power processing section. So I guess it's not so much worse to. So what would happen if we added knockback to mobs after targeting occurred? Huh. Well, so yeah, right. So if we did that, then hypothetically, some nearby allies might chase the wrong target momentarily. They might chase a target that had gone flying off, or that was about to go flying off in some random direction, but. I mean, oh wait, I'm exempting dashing mobs from the targeting system already. So, yeah, no, those mobs will already be excluded from targeting. So, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. So right, so. Yeah, this is where the magic happens. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Yep. This is it. This is it. So we're gonna do one more scan range multi. And actually, I'm just gonna borrow this from power processing because this is basically going to be a bomb. Oh, right, yeah. So I want this, basically. Oh, wait, no. No. We can be less careful about this because this is only one bomb that's occurring. We don't have to worry about multiple explosions. So whatever, I'll just grab this whole section. So where did we say? Right here, yeah. So yeah. Actually, I guess we don't really have to scan range multi. We can just apply. Yeah, we don't have to scan again. What am I thinking? We can just apply this to every mob for whom dashing had been true, because those were the ones that had got caught up in the whatnot. So I will keep this part because this is the part where we calculate the explosions. So right, if dashing di equals, or yeah, if dashing.di, then this stuff. So finished with setting dashing to false. That's what we were originally using this for loop for. But now, what if? Wow, that's a lot of variables that don't exist anymore. So it's knockback. And this is actually just I now, or di. This is just di. And then this is also... Oh, yeah, you know what? This is all going to be a lot less complicated. So we can... Oh. Explosion force? Yeah. I guess we keep explosion force, because, like, it works for the other explosion, so... That, I guess that'll just be the same variable, and I'll have to remember. I might have to tune them separately later, but for now I don't see any particular reason why it can't just be the same thing. Alright, so we can get rid of that part, because that was just about diminishing returns. So yeah, offset normal. Oh, we have to calculate what offset normalized is, but oh no, a different offset exists in that context. So wait, so this is offset E for explosions dot normalized, which doesn't exist. You really should not be okay with the fact that I referenced that. What am I missing? Oh, I have an extra parenthesis. Right, so good, yes. So power strength is in fact power 1, which is dash, which we're processing now. Offset E dot magnitude. Right, so yes, so that's all good now, kind of, depending on how you think of it. Except that we have to, right, so vector 3 offset E. We're not just gonna leave it meaningless. Why are you all upset? Why did you this text all turn? Oh right, because that's the okay, yeah. Okay, so right, new vector, yeah. This is roughly what we want here, except that we have to srmi is actually just di, right? Di. Pow in this context is actually just oh yeah, pow 1, right? Okay. Oh, range. So this is the radius. It's not just the yeah, so no, this actually isn't going to have anything to do with the range. This is just I'm gonna just come up with what this number is. So it's gonna be like, actually, no, yeah, no, it is gonna have to do with the range. But specifically, it'll have to relate to the radius. The radius that we're using for the yeah, and the last thing is di offset. Wait, yeah. I lied. This is not di. This is 0. Because it's the position of the hero that we want. Offset E is underground. Wait, that's not the whole calculation though, because offset has to be right. Oh yeah, no, center. The center is calculated as we just right. That's not offset E. That's center. Right, and so then offset E is instead offset E. This is di. Transform dot position minus center. Alright, and then this is just junk that we don't really need. And then all is happy in the world. Yeah, thank you, TriSox, for advertising the stream for me. um, and thank you, Snow, um, uh, for checking it out. Thank you both for tuning in. This is way more interesting than what I would be doing otherwise, which is basically the exact same thing except by myself. Yay! Thank you. All right. Well, yeah. I'll try and see what I can do. I mean, I run into a bug here and there, so it's not nonstop excitement, but I I'll try and keep it at least watchable. Aim for that bar. So speaking of watchable, did we just implement something that will possibly work, or so the power range for this ability is actually much lower than the power range for the other ability, and actually this calculation was based on the based relative to the range the bombs were thrown, not the range of the bombs. Explosion radius, so we'll probably want something other than 0.4f. Also, I think we might want a slightly greater explosion force, because I think we also want a slightly lower center of explosion. The explosions are centered slightly underground, so that way they give the mobs an overall like upward trajectory when they're blown into the air. So they're not just all blown out in like various directions. If they were all blown too far, the hero would spend way too much time just chasing them down and not actually doing his thing. So yeah, it's I think that's especially true for dash, because the whole point of dashing is kind of like to close the gap. So you don't want to create a gap that right after you've closed it. So so what if it was literally just power range? Which every time I say, I hear in my head Power Ranger, but oh, I might be dating myself. Power strength times explosion force. Let's see what this does, if anything, and then and if we don't, if it's a tragic mess, we can wow, it's like it's an unmitigated nothing. So yeah, yeah, my game definitely needs a few art assets. um, those might come in down the line. I'm not much of an artist myself, although the last time I made this game, like years and years ago, I did make a little dude that like runs around, like basically like the equivalent of like a three-dimensional stick figure. He did karate and everything. Oh, I bet that project's still online somewhere. Yikes! I could probably dig that up, but all right. I'm not the only one who like Power Rangers. Yeah, man. I probably still in some basement have just like binders of Tommy was the red one, if I recall. I might be wrong on that one. It has been a while. All right, let's try multiplying the explosion force times 2. No, at this point I know that I'm working with a different value here, so let's call it dash XPL force. And set that to something. Dash public float dash EXPL force. Oh, he's the Green Ranger. I'm sorry. Yeah, speaking of Power Rangers, one of my variable names I think would make a good TV show along those lines. The variable explosion force. Every time I say that one, I just picture like some '80s cartoon show that never actually existed. Um, excuse me. So what explosion force? I think for the other one was set to 1.3. Okay, so let's try like I don't know 2.6. I guess. Uh, oh yeah, right. All right. Man, it's been so long since I saw that show. I wonder if they have it on Netflix or something. um, but public float. Oh, equals. Yep. So is that noticeable? It might just be that I set up the explosion wrong. Am I not applying? But before I go back and worry about all that, let's try cranking it up to 10. See if that has an effect. No? Actually, no, that clearly is having an effect. But it's clearly not the effect that I hoped it would have. What was that weird cronk? Cronk, cronk, cronk. Am I trying to blast them in the... yeah, oh man. I don't know if I'll make it to that side of the pond anytime soon, but I would totally get in that situation. I could be the I don't know, I'll be the grizzled vet, like the one with the who probably has an eye patch and like maybe a cigar at like all times. Oh, okay, so I'm not the only one who's not in Germany, so that's I guess it would have to be filmed remotely, green screen and the all the other characters. Um, so where am I going? Oh yeah, I thought this was a fairly straightforward setup, but apparently I've overlooked something in this explosion processing. Oh yeah, it's pretty low down. Let's put down here. Let's see if anything stands out. So, oh well, that's superfluous. So it's definitely something to fix. I don't need to recalculate this every time. So yeah, so the center is calculated as such, and then yeah. So what is not working well here? So if dashing. Oh well, for one thing, we can. Yeah, let's start with 1 because we don't need to actually apply this to the head honcho. We can say, and so then we can say we can also just say dashing 0 equals false. Skype call. We'll have a webcam, so. And then I guess the scenes where they're just like random, like in Power Rangers it was just like they always had like a few scenes where like random putties were just standing like out in a field like doing karate against no one. We could always, I don't know, we could just use like action figures for that or something. And then of course like whatever bomb slinging Voltron style giant robot is assembled, that could be They could be scale models instead. Uh, so, as for these offsets, I don't know. It was modeled around something that worked alright, so it would have been nice if it just worked. But instead, alright, what if instead of that, what if we just flatly applied not even normalize it, just flatly applied the offset as the explosion. This should send everything flying so high, just immediately off the screen. Yeah, it looks like they're getting blown down. I mean, they're getting blown down hard. But why is that? I feel like it should have the same polarity as yeah, send me my script. I'll film that post haste. Send you back I'll learn my lines post haste. Yeah, the polarity seems to be backwards on this. So let's try this, but then I guess like inverted for whatever reason. I don't know. Why not? So times -1, is that all you needed to work? -1f, I guess. Alright. That kind of works. Although, they're getting blasted inwards? I mean, I guess that's technically okay too, but I don't know why that is. So curious. Alright. A few things. We don't want the radius to be so low, because, like, it doesn't look like an explosion, it just looks like a weird, like, mushroom dome thing that's happening. Let's pick up a bunch of these and see what it does then. Yeah, it doesn't really look like an explosion. Those ones look... I think that's a better shape for an explosion. So... Explosion force! Activate! Explosions! Explosions! I'm having a lot of fun. Alright, yeah, we don't want the range to be quite so low. So maybe just like times 0.8. I'll probably want to tune this in a second, but with the other one I hit on the magic number really fast, so I don't know, I'm holding out hope that might happen again. They're getting blown inwards, aren't they? I have no clue why that would be the case. I mean, I guess it kind of works out, because it just kind of looks like a mess of dudes. So maybe I should just go with it, and then just like tune the values so that the mess of dudes that go flying up. I mean, like I said, like kind of one thing that I wanted with the dash was for dudes not to go like flying outwards in like other directions. Like, I have no clue why they would be flying inwards, but wait a second. I think I just figured it out. I know one thing that would definitely do that, and that's if I forgot to make this a negative value. Yep. Alright, well, so that definitely explains what was going on, but now I'm wondering if I wouldn't just like it better the other way. Like right, yeah, so maybe I'll just keep that effect instead. So just for sanity's sake, I'm gonna double check that is what I was forgetting, but yeah, that was definitely what I was forgetting. But yeah, look at how awkward that is. Like, what's the point of dashing if all the dudes are just going flying away? All right, yeah, they're gonna get more like sucked upwards than that. All right, cool. And actually, you know what? At that point, like, I could just throw them upwards. Like, why not just why not just literally throw them upwards? So yeah, forget this center business. Uh, Instead, let's just say offset equals new vector vector 3 I hope this doesn't make you like the game less, but I've never made a violent video game before. Well, I did just make a video game about throwing dudes into a volcano, which in hindsight is a little violent, but I so I'm thinking for this game, like, at least until maybe this is not actually what the game is about, but like what I tell myself the game is about to like use my conscience about making a violent video game. I don't even have anything like super against violent video games per se. It's just not the type of game that I necessarily want to make. All right. Um, um, the story that I'm telling myself in my mind is that the little oh yeah, so like in Sonic how you jump on a robot's head and like a little bunny hops away or whatever. Um, kind of along those lines. And that was actually, I think that might have been what got me thinking about it in the first place. I kind of want like the little green things just to be like birds who are like polluted on or something. Like how when there's an oil spill, you see like you see those awful images of like birds that are just like covered in like gunk, and like they can't be birds when they're covered in gunk. Like they're just like so sad. I kind of want the little green circles to be birds. And so, like, part of the reason that they go flying all over the place, like, part of the reason that, like, literally everything makes dudes go flying is that, like, they're, like, as you like, quote-unquote, attack them, you're actually, like, kind of, like, freeing them from the pollution, and they're regaining their ability to fly. So, yeah. I don't know. That's the story that I tell myself when I'm making the game, so that like whenever I feel like I have to do good in the world, I can tell myself. I don't know. Like I don't know if you guys feel it in game development, but like sometimes I'm like, what am I really doing with my life? When I hear about people who like work in like social justice, like I don't know, fighting for like impoverished people or like I don't know whatever. Like I get those moments like what really am I doing in the but yeah, I like to tell myself a nicer story when I'm making the game. Yeah. So it's a happy thing. Like oh yeah, in terms of like what happens to the mobs, like oh yeah, one thing that I haven't really considered yet is that mostly because I'm just tuning the bass effects. Yeah, if you've ever played Super Smash Bros, you might be familiar with like the more damage you take, the further you fly into the air. Similarly, I think like the mobs aren't going to take visible damage, except that knockback is going to become more and more powerful against them. And so eventually, like what happens to the mobs is that they eventually just fly off. They just fly off into space. And so yeah, it's a little ambiguous what happened to the bird. So like, if like I don't know, I'm not gonna get I wasn't planning on getting super overt about it. So like, if people really did just want to play a violent video game, I wouldn't shatter their illusion that maybe like you are literally like maybe these are little goblins and you're like blasting them into space or whatever. But yeah, I wanted also to support the fantasy that maybe you're saving them. Maybe you're doing good in the world. Anyways. So yeah, actually I don't even really need to do this here. I can just yeah, this is much simpler. So power strength 1 dash explosion force. Yeah, and then this just has to be new vector 3 0 random dot value. Alright, let's say 0.3 plus 0.7 times random dot value, or actually no, not no. Yeah. Let's say 0.5 times f. 0.5 f times 0.5 f times random dot value times value strings to the position, of course. Wait. Slash 0 or comma 0, and then close parentheses. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, so, I don't know. I guess Sonic kind of like hit it on the head. Like, you get to destroy the robots and you get to save the little critters. So maybe I'll come up with something good like that. I mean, I guess that's actually not. It's not so original. Like, I think it's probably one of the more popular examples, or one of the easier to reference examples. But like, I mean, there's been a long history of like the whole concept of like exorcism and like, you know, fighting out the evil in order to get to the good inside. So I don't know if maybe it's not just pollution. Maybe it's like actually like a murky ooze that is like a sentient murky ooze that is like taken over the like a, I don't know, some sort of weird like mutant like viscous virus plague, ambiguously bad thing that that you want to save these little critters from. Whoa, that's some that's some oomph. All right, let's dial that down a little bit. Dash explosion force. Let's call you like 0.3 instead. That's way too little. So like 0.7. That could be good. And then like if you go for a while and you catch a bunch of dudes, then boom. All right. Cool. Did we just finish another power? Is that 2 powers in one day? Maybe I'll just like build and like put this online, like not on my website, but like I'll just like upload a build. So, whoa, oh yeah, oops, I forgot to change the value. I can just put a thing online because I don't know that like now these 2 buttons work. That's neat. It's not super tons, but I guess that way you don't just have to watch me click buttons. You can actually you click buttons yourself if you're so inclined. So, all right. Let me just check and make sure this actually works in browser. Sometimes I get weird errors when I like the errors that you found, Trisox, the other day when my project tried to run. Those errors were so weird. I forget if I explained it, but like I have 2 computers. That my game was working fine on one computer and not at all fine on the other one. And whoops. All right. Well, I guess that's fine. All right. So yeah, go activate. Is this gonna work? No, it's gonna do that cool thing. Although yeah, I did ultimately figure out kind of what was going on there. So presumably I can make the same fix here. Because what did I do? Zoom? Is there a Zoom script somewhere? Camera, Zoom. What is that other script? I made another script, right? Zoom, yeah. It is Zoom. Alright, anyways. On the Zoom script, what I discovered is that display.main.rendering width, for some reason on some computers this just returns 0 instead of the actual number that you might hope for. So let's actually do oh, this is that print. Hey, that print that I couldn't find. That's what that was about. Alright. Oh wait, but that print wasn't returning 0. So I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't returning 0 on this yeah, right. No, and that was actually what I was noticing before too, is that it wasn't returning 0 consistently. It was only returning 0 on some occasions. So let's go screen dot width instead, and then screen dot height. I don't know. I'm changing the print. This print doesn't matter. And actually, I wanted to disable it anyways. But yeah, if we're actually calculating with those things, then we have to change those too. So screen dot height, screen dot width. So maybe that'll work now. Let's give it a shot. Build and run. Do-do-do-do-do. Yay! Look at that. Hey. Explosions. Oh, I should tone down the max mobs because we already know that it doesn't run well with this many mobs. So what? I mean, it's not on Android yet. No, I'll just go to 300. 300 is fine. It's what I kind of have to balance the game around because I'm pretty sure it's one of my limitations. And actually, one of my limitations, it might be 300 might not even be the limitation. 300 might be a bit high. I might have an even lower limitation, but it's the one I'm working with for now because I don't know. I'm ambitious. I haven't even started optimizing it. So boom, 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 dash, 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 dash. All right, yeah. I don't know. I amuse myself with stuff like this, so maybe I will amuse you too. Who knows? What am I going to do? C. Ba 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 da ba ba. Sorry. What is this? Hero, yeah. Or actually, let's go to pay, I guess. The one I just set up recently. Quick start, let's borrow that. For, what? For hero, build, P1, quick start. And then let's change this. Property, no, not properties. Edit, notepad. Let's find where it says pay. And change that to hero. Hero. Let's find the instructions and replace that with, I don't know what the instructions would be for this game. Click and hold. Click and hold. Or click and drag to move, I guess. Click and drag to move. And then what? And then the name of the project is oh no, it's still builds, etc., etc. And there's no APK on this one, right? This is without the Android. Yeah. Okay. So is that good? I think build. Let me just double check those. It is supposed to be called build. Unit, etc. Cannot find build. Am I just too low on the page? Notepad, yay! There it is, yeah, build.unity3d. Alright, let's save that. Let's rename this to, this is the one that we just built, 916, that's today, 605. Oh, it's 60, oh wow, okay. Yeah, I have to leave soon, sorry, so, so before I wrap up though, I'm gonna, just the build that we have running right now, I'm gonna put it online. I don't know how long it'll take to upload, hopefully not too long. Sorry, just one moment. Connect to servals and make new folders. And I apologize. I have to take off fairly soon. I was only planning on streaming until 8 minutes ago, and I kind of lost track of the time. But we got a lot done today, so I really can't complain about anything. I think I'd say today was great overall. It was nice to make some new friends and get some new viewers, and and to come up with the internet's next favorite action show, Explosion Force.